Yes, only.
Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. Any questions from students who are online? Okay, so the next topic is point number 4. Assume that you have studied international hygiene standards, theory of certifications, rules, regulations, use and applications, audit, inspection at a place to ensure that in your absence, audited figures will indicate standard of hygiene at an F&B outlet. So has anyone heard about HACCP?
Yes, sir.
What exactly is HACCP? One at a time. Girls, quiet please. Hazard. Okay, so if you have this certification and if you want to develop SOPs in the F&B outlet, so as to that, so good as that in your absence also, the procedures will be followed. So you need to develop it for the F&B outlet. So it could be the kitchen area and F&B service area, including the public. Let's say there is a washroom, for example, where your staff may also visit it. And then how are you trying to ensure that the hygiene levels are maintained? Because of the pandemic, we've got a whole set of new standards which have come in place for maintaining hygiene and sanitation. So you can talk about those. So you need to provide us with SOPs which can be followed. And it could be subject to audits or inspections also. So there could be elements of training in there. How do you train your staff? If there is training required for HACCP, is there a monthly, weekly, half yearly or a yearly training that is provided? So that all the staff members are, first thing, if there is a new staff member, that particular staff member is trained. And if there are old staff members, they sort of get a revision of what's exactly happening. So all of that, how do you maintain that in your organization? Fifth point is regarding a bar. So it is a full-fledged alcoholic bar where you need to design types. You need to design types, suitability according to the functions, provision of inventory, everything basically which is required in a bar to operate it. Okay, and you have a sharp sense of detecting alcohol which is being consumed illegally, sold illegally, stolen from the bar, bottles being regulated to top up with water after illegal operations. And how do you control that? So bar frauds, malpractices is what you're going to cover. Okay, so what are the procedures in place? You need to talk about that. Okay, apart from the fact that it is a fully functional bar. Okay, so as a bar manager or as an in charge, how do you ensure that this operation is foolproof? Okay, so apart from, let's say, having CCTV cameras in the bar, what else are you doing? You have detailed knowledge of costing of straight drinks, cocktails, management of events which could be related to various promotions or festivals or events in the bar, management of sales promotions, loyalty cards, formulations of menus, costing, and profitability. So you are a proper, trained person who can handle a bar, and then you have to come up with strategies where you can control, okay, all these malpractices. Finally, you have an expertise to make a break-even point analysis, which is profit or loss with respect to overhead costs, premises costs, license cost, and other costs for a luxury standard bar of 50 covers. So you can take any good bar in a good 5-star hotel, and then you can work on your research, considering that is the bar that you need to find out information for. Okay.
So if you take 5-star hotel bar, if you guys choose, make sure you are
also comparing with another standalone bar, because one of the component, as you see, the premises cost, you will not be able
Yeah.
to assume. Anji,
Yeah.
you will not be able to assume how much will be the rent of that particular bar if you are just picking up one of the bar from 5,000. For information. Sir.
Sir,
Okay.
yes. It is assumed that you're a fantastic banquet manager with adequate knowledge of operations. A lot of you probably have been to banquets during an internship. So this could be another good topic for all of you. Knowledge of operations, both in small and large arrangements. You have almost all critical concepts to organize, manage, cost, compute a profitability chart of different types of banquets, ranging from formal banquet sit-downs to buffet banquets to pre-plated self-help banquet service format. Also have a good knowledge of average as used by luxury hotels in India. So an average cost related to cutlery, crockery, glassware, linen required for 100-cover sit-down banquet. So, imagine it's a luxury event happening for Virat and Anushka's wedding. 100 covers, only VIPs coming, and you have to plan for that event. How will you do it? Okay, 100 covers, sit-down meal for a celebrity event. Okay, so it could include buying of new crockery or cutlery. It could include buying of a certain equipment that could be used in the event, all such things that you need to cover as a banquet manager. So anything to add so far for all these points?
Actually, I just want to talk about the point number 6. Do not only presume that you will set up one area for the banquet, as the point says. You will also have to plan for different types of banquet in terms of self-help, sit down, or buffet. Okay. In terms of sit down, you need more crockery, cutlery than self-help. So plan accordingly. So your report will be divided by 2, 3, or even more if you want to give more exposure to this.
Right. So you can go online, research about what equipment, so crockery, cutlery, expensive silverware you can buy. Okay, I'm sure there will be prices available also, and you can include that in your project as well.
So I have a query. That line mentions a profitability chart for different types of banquets. So what do you mean by profitability chart and what components are you looking to?
So for this event especially, what is the profitability charge? Not for all the other events. For 100-cover sit-down meal, what sort of profits you would in? So you can give us an estimated quotation per person for this event. Okay, if you're arranging, let's say, in a good 5-star hotel as well as a standalone. Let's say you have a destination wedding reception for Virat and Anushka. Okay, so it could be outside the hotel also, on a beach, or I don't know, maybe on top of a mountain. Okay, so you can do that. And I'm giving you an example of celebrity events. You can choose any event. You could have a state banquet for the Prime Minister of India who is hosting for 100 people. Okay, you could have more formal events, business meeting, top level business meeting for, I don't know, Microsoft. 100 people sit down meal. Don't just get carried away by the celebrities, but there could be other formal events also. So you can choose the event. It's not a. Yes.
Is it something the report should give you an idea of going with those piece of paper to a client and let the client know about, look, if you want to go for sit down, this much is going to cost. If you want to go for self-help, this much is going to cost, like that?
It said clearly that they have to
6
plan for a sit down.
sit down here. So is it?
You also have an average cost cutlery glassware for a sit down banquet.
Okay, so only sit down. Only sit down.
Okay, questions? So you'd like to cover the next point? Yeah.
It is assumed that you have sufficient concept of menu engineering, especially related to analysis of dishes in luxury restaurant. You can hold, prepare in details, explain the menu engineering concept to the restaurant supervisor or monitor them to use it on day-to-day basis. What is menu engineering? Sorry? Menu planning, pricing. What is engineering, by the way?
Formulation of.
Isn't it fixing things? I mean, in simple English, if something goes wrong, or possibly you're thinking, oh, it might be going wrong, you are fixing it, right? Yes.
So many engineering is a technique used to analyze the
Yeah.
pricing of dishes like which are popular, which are moderate, which are popular.
No, we are coming there. We're coming there. We're just talking about engineering now. So this particular topic or point is asking you to do a menu engineering of any of the restaurants, which you pick up any of the dish and you can categorize into 4 parts. And which are those 4 parts, you will have to research. So now if you cannot, we are there. You will have to just go through what is menu engineering from websites or YouTube videos, understand how different dishes are categorized into which category. There are 4, isn't it, Akhilesh? What are they? Horse, horse, dogs, puzzle, and star. Okay. So if you just research a bit for spending 10-15 minutes, hopefully you'll be able to understand. Okay. Number 8, it is assumed that you have an extraordinary passion for wine and spirits and understand oenology. What is it? Oenology? Art of wine making, a study of wine, study of wine, oenology and spirit making in great depth. You have great knowledge to make a spirit and wine bar card, do costing and pricing based on classical concept of pricing in hospitality industry. Okay. So you are expected to make 2 menus actually. One is wine one, another one is spirit. And you please, while making this last year, actually, this is one of the topic we have taken from last year. And we have seen a lot of students, they made a mistake just letting us know about how wines are made. Hey, we are not wanting to see whether you know how red wines are made or not. Please do not just chip cow from previous project. You'll be getting 0. Oh, that measurement. Yes. You are expected to showcase your skills in terms of pricing, not letting us know whether you have understood how so-and-so beverage is made or manufactured.
Why?
Settle down, Obed, settle down. So now, yes. Come again.
Making of the wine and spirit is the part of the project.
Yes, it is a part of the project, but it is not the whole project that we are wanting to see whether you have understood so far making of different spirits or wines or other alcoholic beverages. Topic number 9, that you have great concept in formulation of menu, planning of menu, explaining dishes, using accurate terms to make dishes attractive, use realistic words to make dishes sound local, from the garden, from the lake, etc. For an example, we say that so and so preparation is made by our garden fresh vegetables. So I'm going to explain this particular topic. It's to be able to construct menu in such a way that it follows the classical concept of gauge motion theory, easily readable, easily understandable, and reflects the truth always. It is
Gauge motion theory क्या है?
Gauge motion theory. Anybody?
So when the guest scans over a menu,
Yes.
when we scan over a menu, the particular I don't remember the exact theory, but there's a particular page on which the guest his eyes moves. And
Page, not page, area.
the area. So when that's where you highlight your dishes.
Okay. So why, before we come back to what Varun has answered, why is page 3 very popular? Why not page 1, जहाँ पे headlines होते हैं newspapers? They always talk about page 3. Pune Times, if you pick up, there's a lot of photographs on page 3, and we call them as page 3 celebrities and so on. Okay, so why is it page 3 and not page 1, page 4, page 25, page whatever, 115? Page 3 में क्या होता है? Ever wondered? Anyone? Have you thought over it? Why do they call it as page 3? Celebrities. Detailed news, but again, we find it on page 1 also.
Maybe a brief of many topics of Bollywood. has been
Okay.
included in that one page.
Not just Bollywood, I was giving you example of Pune Times, but any newspaper for that matter. Okay. Brief of everyone. Shaunak?
Page 3 is the page which gets most attention. Like if we just randomly open a newspaper, we automatically go to page 3. If you turn the page and
So I can look at page 2 also. जैसे one front page है, 2 पे भी देख सकता हूँ मैं. Yes, Akhilesh wants to answer something. Gossips. आप पढ़ते हो? Okay. हाँ पढ़ते हैं. मिरर में भी आता है वो. पुणे मिरर में. Ask the expert. Okay. So page 3 is basically once you need to get your newspaper headlines पढ़ने के बाद आप क्या पढ़ोगे? Page 3 पढ़ोगे ना? When you have, and it's related to gaze motion theory. Gaze motion theory is basically you sort of go from the left to the right or right to the left. There is some theory that has developed over some kind of research that they had done. जैसे आप newspaper खोलते हो, you go towards the bottom right hand side of the newspaper more often, that area is more visible. So if you approach a newspaper, a printed hard copy newspaper, you will always find the bottom right side, the charges or the expenses for that corner are more than the headline or other pages inside. So that's the place where you try to gaze more or pay attention more when you're trying to look at even menus. So वो menu भी आता है, तो उसमें certain dishes which you want to promote, upsell, are sometimes kept in that corner or kept on page 3 rather than page 2. Okay, this is again personal, but I have a habit that when we used to get newspaper, अभी तो बंद हो गया COVID की वजह से, but we start from the back last page because there is sports. तो वो होता था जब हम लोग कॉलेज में थे या स्कूल में थे. Then that's the kind of habits people have. So last page also is relatively important, even though it is the last page, but sometimes you tend to go towards the last page and then start reading towards the front. Okay, so again, different theories, different. So same concepts here.
Talking about more on menu. So a few restaurants which are not too very popular in terms of making their dishes very popular in that city. The common mistakes, what they do, they direct the dish to the price by putting some dot. Have you all noticed? It means the restaurant management want you to have a look on the price. The question is why? When the guests have decided to come to your restaurant, he has money, right? So you possibly will not have to put some dot, ऐसे करके, right? I'll just tell you one thing you can check once you back home and you have a desktop or laptop in front. If you type A in Times New Roman 10 font, and if you type 1 in Times New Roman 10 font, 1 will look bigger. The numeric number always looks bigger than an alphabet. Have you seen it? Okay, you will research about, if you pick up this topic, you will research more. We are just giving you an example. Expensive dishes are not for the last page of your menu. It can feature in any page. Do not just keep the last pages full of your expensive wines or expensive dishes. So what will happen? People who have budgets, and fortunately that percentage is pretty high. All of us, we have budgets. we'll be not possibly choosing last or second last page to look for. We know that's expensive dishes page. We will not go forward to possibly if I have my child with me, she will want to have ki Papa mujhe wo chahiye. So I will not possibly open that menu at all in front of her. So instead of doing it, expensive dish could be featured in on every page. That is what I mean. So there are a lot of other things. If you research more, you will get to learn more. So this is one of the topic is very important and it is good for you because all of you have chosen to be in F&B industry. Yeah. And menu you cannot get rid of. The last assignment, all of us we dealt with menu, right? We were serving, right? So we dealt with menu. You will be dealing with menu till the time you decide, nahi, enough of hotel industry. Okay, so this is a very good topic to go ahead with. So the next one first. Okay, it is assumed that you have a good understanding of menu merchandising and have extraordinary concept how to use menu merchandising techniques to promote or market any festival, food promotions, celebration, special events, international dates, etc. You have the required skills to develop different kinds of promotional materials, both physical and digital. You are an expert to use the social media to use to the fullest to support the menu merchandising techniques. You are expected to do a concrete planning for a restaurant event and do an extensive menu merchandising activities, both physical and digital. Okay, a lot of dates on calendar. Every calendar gives you a good vibe being in food business that you can go ahead and you can do something. I'll just give an example. If you have some chutti date which is attached with or before or after of your weekend, possibly you can plan something. I'm talking about hotels. I'm not talking about QSR or standalone restaurant. Okay. So this particular topic talks about that. What all opportunities will you pick up to excel into your business? So opportunity does not mean that in your restaurant or your coffee shop, you can only serve food and beverage. There are a few restaurants or coffee shop. They have also decided to sell out something which is nowhere connected to F&B. Like,
special menu.
Discount hota hai.
Valentine's Day.
Right. Maybe coffee mug, hats, t-shirts, which will and you know what? Most of the merchandise product you buy from a restaurant or coffee shop, you'll find their logo. So that will be throughout your life. I mean, that gentleman or that lady will be wearing that t-shirt. Will be a brand ambassador.
International Hospitality Day.
So
Effing Good does a lot of good coffee shops. CCD bhi hai, unke mugs aate hain. If you go to Starbucks, they have their mugs, coffee mugs, jars, whatever, pen, pencils, t-shirts,
Yes.
shorts, hats.
The last one.
So a lot of that is on social media. So you have to come up with strategies where you can promote on social media. I think most of us here are good with that. Everyone has got a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn account. How will you promote your restaurant? Okay, and if you need examples, go on a handle which is promoting their drinks or food or menu. So a lot of good restaurants. So if you go to the social media handles for Mask, which is in Mumbai, Nebula in Mumbai again. Pune has a lot of restaurants which do good promotions on social media. Look what examples they have, and you can also replicate that for your restaurant. So that can be done. 11th point.
So it talks about the budget. Very important. Money. Yeah. So how do you make budget? Okay, let me tell you before I go ahead word to word. The first month or the first year, if it is a QSR, it is for the first month. If it is a hotel, it is for the first year. An outlet is never been given a budget. Okay. It is when asked to do whatever you can do it. So the first month or the first year budget will be Excel after on. Okay. Suppose after a year, whatever, let's take round figure to understand 1 lakh rupees you have done previous year. Just one example. Let us take small number. Next year, what will be your budget? It depends. It depends.
1,20,000.
It depends. Suppose the management says this year we'll be also giving you a couple of tables more because we are done with our terrace work. Previous year it wasn't. So possibly that case it could be 50% or 40% or 35%. Okay. So now talking about budget, let us understand budget always increases. It never decreases. Okay. So whatever will be your first year or first month, it will be on that. Okay. So now let us go ahead word to word. You will understand better. It is assumed that you have a great understanding and knowledge on restaurant budgeting. You have all the knowledge of different types of budgeting plan pretending to a restaurant operation. You know all the aspects of how to develop a restaurant budget, both expenditure and revenue budget. Okay, I'll talk about it. You have the required skills to expenses and sales revenue for a restaurant. You are expected to develop an extensive expenditure and income budget for the fine dining restaurant of a 5-star hotel. Now talking about expenses, guys, we all are sitting here F&B people. Okay, so now this is the time you can pat on your back. A lot of things we pay for. However, they may sound like a different department altogether. Giving an example of KST soap solution. You heard me correct, it comes from us. There are no KST budgets in any of the hotel. That budget is from us. Giving you an example, there are other things also. Please find out which usually comes from F&B budget. So when we F&B, we prepare a budget. Okay, we divide by 2. One is earning, another one is expenses or expenditure. In expenditure, there are a lot of other things like linen for an example. Dinner napkin for your restaurant, you will be paying from your pocket being an F&B. Housekeeping is not going to pay because they do not earn. Do they earn housekeeping? They don't. They don't. Minibar ka bill banate bechare wo bhi hum leke jate. Right? So we are the one who pay for our linens. We are the one who pay for our tablecloths and so on. There are other things. Talking about different cleaning agents for the restaurant. Cleaning agent, I mean to say the floor cleaning agents. I mean to say there are different chemicals for carpet shampooing. That also comes from us, F&B. You research more, you'll get to know more. I'm not expecting you that you won't be having a question after attending this session. You may have, and we are open. You can come to us. So now let us do Q&A, sir. They might have a lot of questions if you.
But yeah, format.
Okay, sir. Sir, go ahead, please.
It has to be in a report format. Okay.
So the report format will have students, please pay attention. Introduction, methodology, topic understanding. Along with that, you'll have paragraphs and whatever number of paragraphs, and then you have conclusion. Okay. Must contain explanations, references, citations if possible, and may contain one or more charts, graphs, pictures, wherever applicable, along with photographs. Okay. So it has to be in a report format.
Also add the word count while
Yes.
so you will find this. Okay. You will find this piece of paper or document in your Google Classroom by end of the day.
Yes, we can share it. Yeah.
And wherever you get stuck, and please choose your topic wisely. Just do not go for or jump onto any of the topic because it sounds easy to you. Cannot. The easiest thing is the most difficult thing in the world. Okay? Because everybody will be choosing the same thing, and we being a teacher, we should not be getting tired looking at report as something area.
Plagiarism, avoid it. Please avoid plagiarism. We have softwares, UWS students who know this, where you can actually see if you have copy pasted stuff. So we can put your project in that software and find out कि आपने copy paste किया है या खुद से लिखा है. So do some research, write it in your own words, as simple as that. rather than just taking information from internet and doing a last minute job, because you have time. You will be expected to submit this project by 5th of April. Okay, lot of time, almost more than in fact more than a month. हाँ, ये कैलेंडर है.
Fifth is to fourth. To fourth.
Fourth of, yeah,
Fourth is Monday.
Monday. So please don't disappoint us. We will have final submission on the 4th of April. Please note it down somewhere and make sure you're following that. You have time from today. If you have questions, another 3 or 4 days down the line, guys, another couple of days or maybe a week from now, you can come back with whatever you are ready with. We'll have a look. We can give you feedback and then you can continue ahead rather than putting something which is a surprise for us. Okay? So make sure you are doing this and do it now when it is quiet. After a certain time, we will have events, you will have UWL students have their submissions, IGNOU exams are coming up. You have other assignments to be written for, I don't know, YCMU maybe or IGNOU. So while you are at peace now, start working on it. Don't wait for 1st of April thinking, abhi aur 4 din mein karenge, fir submit karenge. Abhi karo, ready rakho, soft copy format, and just maybe 3 days in advance, you can submit it. Okay? That's how you do it. Again, I'm repeating, March will be busy with events. You will have events where you are getting marks for that. So you can't miss that event, sit at home and write the project. Can't do that. Okay? So abhi time hai, abhi karo. Just to reconfirm, UWL students, we've got submission dates so that it may help you. Have you all got submission dates from your other modules apart from strategic F&B? I don't know, maybe, but I'm just going to let you know the dates so that you can refer to this. Okay, guys, please pay attention. Submission dates for level 6. I'm talking to UWL students only. 25th March for GM, SM is 1st of April, okay? And strategic F&B is 8th of April. So you can see how close they are for the submission date of this project. You can start now so that you can finish earlier. Say again, sir, for the draft?
Yes. If students,
Yeah.
if you want us to check your project before you submit, okay, you can share that project with us and ask for our review on that. Before you totally prepared it and you're totally wrong on some topic, no point submitting wrong. So better you, as you start accumulating your informations that you have gathered from internet, you can show us, sir, I'm going to put these all on my report. How do you feel about it? Okay. That's how possibly you can score better marks. So can do you have any questions from this so far? And if you have it, do not ask your friend. Ask us. Possibly the friend you feel like he's very intelligent. No, he's not. Okay. Ask us. We do not mind to entertain you, but you will have to walk up to us, cask and barrel or this room. Phone pe nahi, WhatsApp mein nahi. Sir, topic number 7. Abhi ye kya hai? Main kya samjhu uska? Okay. Come up to us. We'll try to help you. Okay.
Come to us with some content. Don't come to us, sir. आपने जो class में बताया समझ नहीं आया फिर से बताओ. Work on your project. At least out of 3,000 words, work on 1,000 words, and then come to us so that हम आपको आगे के लिए way forward बता सकते हैं. है ना? So I'm just sharing that certificate.
Yes.
For them to see. Trying to open up the link. आपके पास I'll send you on WhatsApp.
हाँ हाँ.
Share with my